about to get serious here!
There's no way you win against me now.
Alright everyone, JB here, and we're back with another Dragon Ball Z video on the channel today. Now today, we're going to be basically doing a equipment guide for pretty much my beginners, my new players, or just the players that are still kind of confused on the concept of how the, equipment system works. So we're going to talk about that in today's video because, as you can see on the channel, I've been lacking. This video is actually supposed to be put out at least last Friday, but work has just been getting the best of me, and I would rather not get on here and record a video where I'm super exhausted and everything, right? That sort of makes sense. But we're gonna go ahead and do that for today's video. I'm gonna dissect everything into sections, so that way it's a little bit easier for you guys to understand. So hopefully it's helpful to anybody. But as always, if you're new around here, leave a like on the video and consider joining the channel because it is very much appreciated. Now the first thing being, because I just mentioned, we're gonna go over it in sections. Now the first thing being is we're gonna talk about the different rarities of equipment. I feel like that's important, especially for my new players or people just joining the game after a while and you're still kind of confused. So we're gonna click on rarities. So when we look at rarities, there are a whole, well, not a whole bunch, but there's a few in the game, but there's mainly only about 2 of them I would say you just have to really focus on. So we have rarities from iron all the way to unique equipments, which in short terms we call those platinum equipments, which is like the highest rarity, the highest value that you can get in the game. And for those wondering what they look like, so this is all of them. So like the platinum equip will look sort of like this, with that platinum color scheme around it and everything. And then our gold equips, if we go down here a little bit, it's pretty much the same kind of way, right? They're they have like that gold outline and border. And the one I clicked on, this isn't a regular equip. This is like a tournament power equip, and you will know that because they have the fist on them right there. But the regular equips have way higher values, so just for those who might be confused about that. And then we also have there are silver equips. So here's the thing, so I'm gonna go right here to rank. So for those who might be asking, well, can we equip some silver equips? Yes and no. There's only a few of them that are actually solid. I do recommend this Goku equip right here as well. This one is also pretty solid if you don't have any other equip to put on like a purple and a melee type character. But in the short term, you're going to be focusing on platinums, gold equips, and then there's also something that we have in the game called the awakened equips, which are basically an awakened version of that equipment. So we're gonna dive into like the awakened section a little bit later in the video. So if you are, you want to learn about that as well, I'm going to talk about that as well. But this is what awakened equips will look like. They have that, they even say it right there, awakened. So it's not too hard to miss and everything, but that is pretty much the gist of it. Plat equips, gold equips, awakened equips, and you can also equip some silver equips, but some of them are mainly going to be like awakened silver equips. That's where you're going to get the best value for some of them. So do keep that in mind. But we're going to go ahead and move on to a different section of the video where we're going to talk about where to get the equips and how you're going to re-roll the equips. Some of you might still be confused on that. There's still a lot of people still confused on that, especially if you're joining the game. Anniversary is about a month away, so let's get into that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're over here on the event page where you're going to be getting some of your equipment, mainly for my beginners, mainly because not a lot of people will be getting their equipments from the event page, except probably for the platinums. But if you don't know what it is, it's pretty simple. You hit the menu and you hit events right there in the middle. Now where it says ultimate equipment collection, this is where you're going to get majority of the platinum equips that drop. Now I am going to talk about a little bit about some of the other plat equips that drop in co-op as well. Now this is also where you get some of your gold equips as well, because if you're a beginner, this is probably going to be where you're going to be going first before you actually head into the shop and get most of your equipment from. So what I was talking about with co-op, right? So co-op, you know, this has been happening for the past couple months, where they will have some equipment, some PLAYZ equips, they will be locked behind co-op. So you necessarily have to play it just to get some of these equips. Now, some of them that come out, they are pretty solid, they're pretty decent. Some are really good, some are not really good. So it honestly depends on you if you want to grind for the equip. But there's also, like I mentioned, if you head over to the exchange shop, there's also a way you can get those as well out of the exchange shop. But necessarily, you still have to play co-op because you need medals to get them out the shop. So, you know, you don't have to grind super try hard. But if I was you, I would probably just do it like the limited time rewards 3 times a day. That's normally what I do. And then just leave it at that. But you pretty much can go back in the shop and pretty much get any equip that you want, that you didn't maybe get for one of the seasons that it was out. But mentioning where are the other equips, right? So the reason why I say for my beginners, you're probably going to be getting most of yours from the events, because there is a equipment medal shop, and in order to get these medals, the simplest way, that ways for those who are sort of confused, you're going to be getting mainly these from like the story mode missions whenever you complete your challenges. So those challenges that you see, normally when you complete those, you get some equipment medals. And it's the same thing for some of the like the original series events and like story mode events. You pretty much complete the challenges and then give you equipment medals, and by the time you save them up, you'll have plenty. So I do recommend that for any of my beginners or new players. Just try, you know, just do story mode, and plus you're getting CC from the story mode as well, so you can never go wrong with that. But this is where you're gonna be getting most of your equipment, because some of these equipment are not in the events. So therefore, that's why most people, whenever they're doing like equipment guides, they're going to recommend that you go in the shop and pretty much get it from there mainly. So the thing is, when we come to the terms of like, let's say re-rolling, right? Now let's say a certain equip, what does it mean to re-roll? That's the first thing I want to get that clear with anybody that's confused on that. When you're re-rolling a equipment, let's say we go right here, you want to either get a gold or a red slot in the first slot. What that means is it gives you a very good chance when you re-upgrade the second and third slot. It gives you a good chance to get the equip, let's just say Z or higher, or even S and higher. That's what we want to aim for the majority of players. S or higher, I feel like it's a solid area to stay at when it comes to equipment. Now let's say we want to re-roll this. Now, as you can see, we got a gold slot right here with these two. That's what you want. That's the bare minimum. You don't have to go above and beyond for red slots. Me personally, I don't. But if you want to, you know, you're serious gamer, I would, hey, go for it. So we're gonna hop over here. So now, go ahead and re-upgrade our equipment, and then I'm gonna try to explain a little bit with the second and third slots, because it's just as I mentioned, you're pretty much just re-upgrading it until you get a gold or a red slot, or just a certain percentage to where it's going to upgrade it to the next value, meaning going from, let's say, an A rank value to an S rank. So let's go over here and see if we can find our equipment down here. There's a lot of equipment that I personally have not finished. Now normally this is what you would do, because they had a system is different now, because they added this, I don't know, like a year ago. Now you can either hit red or orange, it's totally up to you. Normally I just hit red, and the thing is though, keep in mind when you hit red, what it does is if it gets a gold slot, it skips over that gold slot and it keeps on re-upgrading because you clicked on I want a red slot, right? Now you see what I mean right here, when it just went to A to S. So if you get a certain percentage even without getting it to gold or red slot, it'll sometimes upgrade. The only difference is you will not get the full, I guess, value from the equipment. So just look at the percentages and see where you're trying to get it at, you know, because re-upgrading equipment is it's the worst. Honestly speaking, it's the worst. Because besides this, I'm not gonna have you guys just look at this, but it's just me showing an example of how that kind of works. This is where you're gonna re-upgrade your second and third slots. And then after this, we're actually going to talk a little bit about where you can get some slot removers. The slot removers, they're like, that's what you need, or erasers. That's what we call them as well. So you're going to need those a lot, because I recommend when you're upgrading equipment, upgrade it during the upgrade bonanza, which is basically a equipment bonus campaign that they hold during campaigns or like big celebrations, or sometimes they just hold it throughout like the month. So that is the best time for anybody to pretty much just upgrade equipment, because it's way easier. If you don't believe me, any other YouTuber, anybody in general will just tell you. That's personally what I think. But I think we have, let me just check. I could be wrong. Yeah, so we have a raid currently. So make sure you guys are doing this event, because this is a good opportunity. Besides not having the upgrade bonanza and the bonus equipment event, raids are where you're gonna get a lot of slot removers. And if you think I'm wrong, I mean, look, I'm not, but I'm just saying this is just a fact. I wouldn't lie to you. I'm trying to just, if you go over to the shop, right? So, well, at first it wasn't letting us get crystals, but I think that was because it was part of the April Fool's raid. But you're gonna get these little, straw hats. You just do the event. But the thing is, there's 3 steps for the slot removers. So therefore, once you get past the first 2 steps, this is where I'm saying you're getting 900, and that's basically 1,000 plus erasers. Jesus Christ, can't talk. But yeah, you're getting a lot of different materials. You got platinum coins, a lot of stuff helpful, especially for newcomers. And this is a perfect opportunity, because if you're playing this event, it should still be available for everyone else. You get this rarities. It's really simple, just get rarities, because you don't need a certain character or any bonus characters. It literally only says that rarities and Freezer Force are the battle bonus characters, so you literally can just bring rarities. That's what I would suggest. But yeah, that is one place that you can get majority of your erasers. One of the biggest profits of where you can get erasers from. Another option is restore down here. Now this is I don't know if I can suggest this for beginners, because if you're just beginning, just starting out on the game, this might be a little bit more difficult to do. But for those who know about this, or you don't know about it, basically the space-time rush, it resets every 2 weeks. So if you do it, it pretty much gives you these gold coins, and these gold coins, you can use these to get 5 slot removers. So therefore, do keep that in mind, for my beginners, that once you get to like the 2nd or 3rd stage, I think there's 3 stages, it gets pretty difficult. So besides that, right, I believe there's probably one more area, I think, because getting slot removers are pretty what's the word, is like there's like celebrations, there's events that hold it, you can get slot removers from, and then sometimes there isn't. If you got some of these as well, platinum coins, you can also use it for that. You can get 30 erasers just for 10 coins. That's normally what I do sometimes. But besides that, it's like I mentioned, slot removers are all around in the game, coming from like PvP, tournament of power, missions, like it's everywhere. But the biggest factor is you're gonna want to grind them during the raid. So take it to my account that this is the best time for you to grind it during the raid. That's what I suggest. But moving on to probably the final part of the video, where we're going to talk about awakened equips, where to get the materials and everything, and a little bit of insight on all of that. But hope to see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are on the equipment page again. So when it comes to the awakened equips, so we have a tab up here that says equipment awakened at the top right here. And when you click that, it's going to take you to the basically the page of all the equipment that can be awakened. So when you look at these, right, awakened equips, if you're asking what it is, they're basically a 2.0 version of an older equip that was released, let's say like a couple months ago. So basically it's just an upgraded version of it, making them better. So when we look at some of these equipments, right? Let's take it to example. I don't know. Let's say this journey equip. So the easiest thing you can do when you're looking for like the materials that you need. So you actually need these awakened like materials. So you need an awakened version of it, and you get that from the space-time rush, which is why I was saying for my beginners it might be a bit more difficult. But you know, once you get a little bit more characters, because you kind of need characters to actually do this event, because it's going to require you to use certain characters and all that. So let's say you click on this equipment right here. There's also materials that you need. So besides the materials, you also need certain equipment, which is why I'm going to explain really quick. And it's all coming from pretty much like 2 shops. So when it comes to like these materials at the top, those are coming from the same shop. So if you scroll down, it says it right here. You'll be getting them from either the space-time shop, or you can get them from the fragment exchange metal shop. And where do you get the fragment exchange metals? There isn't a specific like way to just grind them. There is like certain events that get kind of held for like celebrations, anniversaries, you know, the festival. So those are the best time. That's why I'm kind of mentioning all these guides before the anniversary, because it's going to be the best time for you to grind some of these things. But besides that, like I mentioned, that's where you're going to be getting those materials. And I've already showed you guys where you get the actual like regular equipments, because if you hit auto select, you need one of the journey equip in A version, and then you just need 4B equipment, silver or higher. So that's pretty much the gist of how awakening equips work. And then you also, before I go, let's go back to the shop. So where to also get the fragment, so I did kind of show you guys, but if if some of you go to the shop and be like, well, I can't find it, it's literally, you have to look. It's not that hard. It's towards the bottom. So we're gonna scroll a little bit down here. It's all the way towards the bottom, because I had someone mention it in it's my crystal guy video, that they never knew that the co-op gives, crystals. So meaning, they probably didn't scroll to the bottom to check it. So, that's just a quick reminder. That's sort of how the awakening equips kind of work in a gist. You basically need the regular version of the equipment, you need the awakened version, and then also the materials to go alongside it. So most of those materials, like I mentioned, you're gonna get from the space-time rush, and you literally need, like, I'm just to show a quick example. There's 3 stages, like I mentioned. So when you go on here, right, there's multiple stages, but there's trials. You have to complete these trials in order to get stars, and when you get the stars, you get medals. You have regular medals, and then you have the gold medals, like I mentioned, and you don't get the gold medals unless you complete all the missions for each stage. And if you don't believe me, wait, that's up to you, but I'm just sitting here trying to help you guys out. That is what you have to do. And then there's also, if you go over here, you can check out, let's go back this way. Well, I haven't actually started it, so that's why it doesn't show the different stages, but that's pretty much what you have to do. It's pretty simple. Like I mentioned, as always, if you're new, just try to collect a little bit of characters first before you actually start trying it out. But then, it's going to become simple. You don't necessarily need awakened equipment, but there are some equipment that are better if the equipment is awakened, right? If that kind of makes sense, right? So that is going to be the end of today's video, though. As always, everyone have a blessed day. It's your boy JB. I'm out.